Cape Town is one of South Africa's three capital cities, serving as the legislative capital and seat of the national parliament, as well as the provincial capital of the Western Cape. The second most populous city in the country, it is famous for its harbour and for landmarks such as Table Mountain and Cape Point, and is one of the most popular South African tourist destinations. Cape Town was originally developed as a supply station for Dutch ships sailing to Eastern Africa, India, and the Far East more than 200 years before the Suez Canal opened in 1869. Jan van Riebeek's arrival in 1652 established the first permanent European settlement in South Africa. Cape Town is well known for its history of apartheid, a system of legalized racial segregation enforced by the National Party government of South Africa between 1948 and 1994, and was home to many leaders of the anti-apartheid movement. Numerous famous political prisoners were held for years on Robben Island, a penitentiary island about 6 miles, 10 kilometers, from the city. One such former prisoner, African National Congress leader Nelson Mandela, marked the end of apartheid in a public speech on February 11, 1990, from the balcony of Cape Town City Hall hours after being released from prison. Cape Town is located at the northern end of the Cape Peninsula, about 30 miles, 50 kilometers, north of the Cape of Good Hope. Table Mountain forms a dramatic backdrop to the city bowl, with its plateau over 3,300 feet, 1,000 meters, high. It is surrounded by near vertical cliffs, Devil's Peak and Lion's Head. Sometimes a thin strip of cloud forms over the mountain, this is colloquially known as the tablecloth. The peninsula consists of a dramatic mountainous spine jutting southward into the Atlantic Ocean, ending at Cape Point. There are over 70 peaks above 1,000 feet, 300 meters, within Cape Town's official city limits. Many of the suburbs of Cape Town are on the large plain of the Cape Flats, which joins the peninsula to the mainland. The Cape Flats lie on a rising marine plain, consisting mostly of sandy surface, indicating that at one point Table Mountain itself was an island. Cape Town covers 948 square miles, 2,455 square kilometers. Environmental issues involve water. The lack of important arterial rivers or lakes requires extensive water conservation and control. The Cape Peninsula has a Mediterranean climate with well-defined seasons. In winter, which lasts from May to September, large cold fronts come across from the Atlantic Ocean with heavy precipitation and strong northwesterly winds. Summer, from November to March, is warm and dry. The peninsula gets frequent strong winds from the southeast, known as the Cape Doctor, because it blows away pollution and cleans the air. The only times when Cape Town can be uncomfortably hot is when the Berg wind blows from the Karoo interior for a couple weeks in February or early March. Cape Town is one of South Africa's three capital cities, serving as the legislative capital and seat of the national parliament, as well as the provincial capital of the Western Cape. The others are Pretoria, the executive, administrative, and de facto national capital, and Bloemfontein, the judicial capital. Cape Town is a metropolitan municipality governed by a 210-member city council, which reports to a 28-member executive council. The executive council, in turn, is presided over by a city manager and an executive mayor. The city is divided into 105 electoral wards, each ward directly elects one member of the council, while the other 105 councillors are elected by a party list proportional representation system. The mayor is chosen by the city council. Before the unification of Cape Town's local government into the so-called Unicity, it was divided into 6 regional administrations. Many functions of the Unicity are still divided according to the old administrations, which were Cape Town, the South Peninsula, the Blyauberg region, Tygerberg, Oostenburg, and Helderberg. After the unification, 16 sub-councils were formed, and later increased to the present 23. Sub-councils consist of geographically clustered wards, with councillors assigned to them on a proportional basis. Each sub-council is led by a chairman who is elected by a majority vote of each sub-council. Cape Town has 4 major commercial nodes, with Cape Town Central Business District containing the majority of job opportunities and office space. Century City, the Belleville-Tiger Valley Strip, and Claremont commercial nodes contain numerous offices and headquarters of insurance companies, retail groups, publishers, design houses, fashion designers, shipping companies, petrochemical companies, architects, and advertising agencies. Cape Town has a petroleum refinery, as well as chemical, fertilizer, cement, and automobile assembly factories. Other industries involve ship repair, food processing, winemaking, and the manufacture of clothing, plastics, and leather goods. The Western Cape generates a quarter of South Africa's agricultural total gross income and more than half of South Africa's exports, which are handled through the Port of Cape Town or Cape Town International Airport. The Port of Cape Town, which is located in Table Bay directly to the north of the Central Business District, is on one of the busiest shipping corridors in the world. It is a busy container port, second in South Africa only to Durban. In 2004, it handled 3,161 ships and 9.2 million metric tons of cargo. Simonstown Harbour on the False Bay coast of the Cape Peninsula is the main base of the South African Navy. Cape Town International Airport serves both domestic and international flights, and is the second largest airport in South Africa. 2 long-distance passenger rail services operate from Cape Town. Metrorail, which operates a commuter rail service in Cape Town and the surrounding area, has a network of 96 stations. 3 national roads have their start in Cape Town. The N1 links the city with Bloemfontein, Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Zimbabwe, the N2, to Port Elizabeth, East London, and Durban, and the N7, to the Northern Cape Province and Namibia. Cape Town also has a system of freeway and dual carriageway M roads. Cape Town is a modern, cosmopolitan city surrounded by nature. Centered around Table Mountain, one of the new 7 wonders of the world, the mother city is known for its beautiful beaches, stunning biodiversity, award-winning food and wine, and sheer variety of experiences on offer. Cape Town is a city and seaport, legislative capital of South Africa and capital of Western Cape Province. The city lies at the northern end of the Cape Peninsula, some 30 miles, 50 kilometers, at its southernmost boundary, north of the Cape of Good Hope. Because it was the site of the first European settlement in South Africa, Cape Town is known as the country's mother city. Cape Town has a beautiful setting. Parts of the city and its suburbs wind about the steep slopes of Table Mountain, 3,563 feet 1,086 meters high, and neighboring peaks and rim the shores of Table Bay. Other parts lie on the flats below the slopes or stretch southward across the flats to False Bay. The city covers an area of 116 square miles, 300 square kilometers. More than half of the residents of the city and metropolitan area are colored, the former official term for people of mixed race. About 1/4 are white, about 1/5 are black, and the remainder are of Asian, primarily Indian origin. In the metropolitan area, Afrikaans is the first language of almost half the coloreds and whites. Almost 1/4 speak English as a first language, and another quarter are equally at home in both languages. The blacks are predominantly Xhosa speaking. The majority of the residents are members of Protestant churches, but there are also sizable communities of Roman Catholics and Muslims. Cape Town was South Africa's economic base until the discovery and exploitation of minerals in the interior. Today it is one of the nation's most important industrial centers and a major seaport. About 9/10 of the fish eaten in South Africa is distributed through Cape Town, and Table Bay is one of the world's largest fruit exporting harbors. A petroleum refinery and chemical, fertilizer, cement, and automobile assembly factories are situated in the metropolitan area. In the city, the basic industries are connected with ship repair and maintenance, food processing, and winemaking, and with the manufacture of clothing, plastics, and leather goods. Tourism is of growing importance. Cape Town is well served by department stores and supermarkets. A number of nationwide commercial concerns have their head offices in Cape Town, including oil and insurance companies. The Port of Cape Town handles some 5 million tons of cargo annually. The port does not admit ships of more than 40-foot draft at low tide, but its repair facilities and dry dock are important to interoceanic traffic. The Benskoeman dock accommodates container traffic. Cape Town International Airport has regular flights to Europe and North and South America. The bulk of its flights, however, are domestic. Cape Town is the terminus of a railway network that extends northward to Zimbabwe and beyond. Most of Cape Town's electricity is produced at the National Electricity Supply Commission's nuclear power station at Koeberg, north of the city. Cape Town has its own coal-fired power station and 2 gas turbines to assist in emergencies and at peak periods. A hydroelectric facility at Steenbros also generates power when needed. The city's water, which once came from dams on Table Mountain and at Steenbros, now also comes from Rivier Sonderand, Voelvlei, and Wemmershoek. The city provides ambulance, fire, and other services to nearby municipalities and local authorities, including black squatter camps, when requested and permitted. The city's health department offers comprehensive health services and runs a system of polyclinics and specialized clinics. The major medical problem in Cape Town, as in every urban center in South Africa, is pulmonary tuberculosis, a disease that is spread easily where nutrition and hygiene are poor and housing is overcrowded. Public hospitals are the responsibility of the broader provincial administration. Groote Schuur Hospital, where the world's first heart transplant took place, is one of South Africa's largest hospitals. There are other smaller provincial hospitals and an increasing number of private hospitals in the city. The most renowned institution of higher learning is Diocesan College, founded in 1849, located in Rondebosch. The University of Cape Town, also in Rondebosch, developed from South African College, founded in 1829, and formally came into being in 1918. The university has always demanded the right to admit students of all races, conditional only on the basis of academic merit, and an increasing number of non-whites are being accepted. Lack of space and funding, however, has caused the university to restrict its growth. The University of the Western Cape, originally built to serve the colored community, is located in the nearby municipality of Belleville. The facilities of the Cape College for Advanced Technical Education are being centralized in new buildings in District 6, the first complex was opened in 1987. Many residents of the city, especially non-whites, receive academic degrees through correspondence courses offered by the University of South Africa. The cricket and rugby grounds at Newlands are the traditional homes of these sports in South Africa. Football, soccer, matches are held in the Hartleyvale and Greenpoint stadiums, which are also used for cycling and other sports. National tennis competitions are held in Rondebosch. The Good Hope Center, designed by the 20th-century Italian architect Pierluigi Nervi, is used for exhibitions, indoor tennis, boxing, and wrestling. Squash courts are located at the University of Cape Town's Indoor Sports Center. A racetrack and 4 golf courses lie within the city boundaries. Zeekovlei and Sandvlei, 2 lakes in the southeast near False Bay, are popular for water sports, especially sailing and windsurfing, board sailing. Cape Town's harbour is an important base for yachting, many international yachting events are hosted there. In the 1990s the waterfront around the old harbour was developed with a new basin for small craft and marina, residential accommodations, and cultural and recreational facilities. The city has numerous public swimming pools, and its beaches are popular. Table Mountain and the mountains above Muizenberg provide hiking and climbing for nature lovers and mountaineers. The National Botanic Gardens at Kirstenbosch flank a boundary of the city. Cape Town's most popular sports by participation are cricket, association football, swimming, and rugby union. Cape Town has hosted the 1995 Rugby World Cup, 2003 ICC Cricket World Cup, and World Championships in various sports such as athletics, fencing, weightlifting, hockey, cycling, canoeing, gymnastics and others. Cape Town is also a host to the 2010 FIFA World Cup, further enhancing its profile as a major events city. Thank you for watching this video.